Hello everyone, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the Batman movie. As you can see, I've got my t-shirt ready, and first and foremost I'm going to say right off the bat that I thought the film was shit. I didn't like it as a Batman fan. Didn't like it at all. There was so much wrong about it, and now that the film's been out for a week now and the hype has died down a little bit, and I think now is the right time to sort of talk about it, get into the things, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and how I would make it into a better movie. So, yeah, because all my friends and family were asking me, okay, Mos, what did you think about this film? What did you think about this film? I thought, it was shit. And they were like, what? How can you not like it? How can you not like it? Well, rather than repeat myself to each and every individual, I just thought maybe I could just put all my thoughts into one video. And this is what I thought of the movie. There will be spoilers in this, and if you liked the film, more power to you. I'm not bashing on you, I'm not hating on you. This is the film that Hollywood wanted you to see, and this is purely my opinion, so take it as you will. Okay, so what did I like about the film? I thought the Riddler was really good. I liked the costume. Apparently it was based on the Zodiac Killer. I don't know what the Zodiac Killer is. I don't know what these American serial killers have. They have special names. But yeah, I thought I liked the costume. I liked the way he talked and used that sort of intimidating tactic to scare everybody. I liked how they got rid of all the comical stuff from Batman Forever and made the Riddler into a more serious and more kind of like a terrorist kind of character. I like that. And the actor Paul Dano, I think, what was his name? I saw him in There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis, and I thought he was going to be very good. I had no doubt, and yep, he gave a very good performance. I liked it. The acting there was very good. He was intimidating. He came across. He gave a very good performance, and I liked that one. The next thing I liked about it was the Batmobile. I liked the Batmobile. I loved it. I liked how it had like a customized car look. What is it you call it? Like a customized muscle car. It was nice to see something that looked more like a car rather than just a tank. We've already had a tank in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. We saw it again with Ben Affleck Batman, as a reference to the Dark Knight Returns, and again in the Batman versus Superman movies and the Justice League. That was good to see, but it was refreshing to see the Batmobile in a nice custom car. This would have been suitable for a Batman in the beginning of his career rather than in the middle of his career, like they stated several times or so. But then again, that looked good. And the last thing I liked about the film was I liked how the atmosphere was shown. I liked how Gotham City was shown as this horrible, gloomy, dark, grim looking place. I liked that funeral scene where there was some gothic architecture. That's what I liked about it. If it's Gotham City, I expect to see some gothic architecture, and we got some. And I liked how in the beginning of the film it showed people trying to breaking the law, and then it was all dark, and when they saw the bat signal they were getting scared. But again, we did not need any narrations. We didn't need that. We don't need anyone telling us. We audience are not stupid. We can see what's going on. So yeah, but overall I liked how I kind of liked the cityscape. I liked how it was all ran down and dirty, and it was all in the clubs and things. So yeah, that was very suitable. So I thought those are the only three things that I liked about this film. Alright, now let's get to the negatives. I mean, I'm going to break the dam and unleash a whole torrent of shit on this. I mean, overall I hated this film. It was long, it was depressing, it was gloomy, and let's right off the bat, as soon as I heard that Robert Pattinson was going to be Batman Bruce Wayne, I was like, no, he is not the right man for the job. Even when the trailers came through, I saw the photos on the internet, I thought, nope, he did not look good at all. He just looked horrible, okay? He does not look like a Bruce Wayne at all, and even in a bat suit, he still looks shit, right? So I'll just put that one forward. You can't compare him to the likes of Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, and Ben Affleck. These three men are by far the best men to do Bruce Wayne and Batman. And to me, my best ever Batman is Michael Keaton, because he looks good. He looks good as Bruce Wayne. He looks good as Batman, and the suit was really good. I'll get to that in a moment. But in this film, Robert Pattinson just looked like some depressed little teenage boy. He just looked like some, you know, that haircut, that hairstyle he had. He just looked weak little pussy. He looked very shit. He looked horrible. Oh my god, he looked more like a lead singer of a pop band or something. I don't know. And he was skinny. And I'm gonna get to that in a minute. For example, even when he put the suit on, he didn't look good. And when he didn't have his suit on, he walked around in a big black t-shirt that was just way too big for him. It's just like, he's too skinny. Now, Batman is supposed to be a big, strong man. He's supposed to be intimidating. He's supposed to be an imposing figure. And that's part of what makes Batman scary. You just don't want to mess with him no matter what. But here you have this lanky little kid. And why should I be scared? Why should the criminals be scared? That was just bad. And it just looked awful. Now, getting back to that rumor, there was a rumor going around that one of the reasons the film was delayed was because Robert Pattinson got COVID. Well, someone who worked on the set came forward and said, nope, that was a lie. In fact, the truth is, Robert Pattinson didn't work out. Because the film was delayed because he didn't tone up and build up for the role. The director got pissed off with him. He took one look at Robert Pattinson and went batshit crazy. That's what the anonymous person said. And I don't like talking about rumors, but when that rumor came through, I thought, nah, I didn't care. I looked at it with complete indifference. But when I saw Robert Pattinson on the screen as Bruce Wayne and Batman, that rumor turned out to be true. He was too skinny, and he just looked crap. And once again, not the right man for the job. The next thing I didn't like about the film was the suit. I mean, what's with that customized gun? Where's the bat ears? Look, this is a Batman, okay? Bats have ears, big ears, okay? You're supposed to have that there. And what's that thing with the gadget that didn't work with me? I didn't like the suit. And gadgets belong in the utility belt, okay? He's got a suit that he got a cape that he can turn it into a glider. We didn't see a bat wings. That looked really shit. I hated it. And the other thing I really hated about this suit was this. What I really hated about the suit was I'm going to be making constant comparisons with Batman, Tim Burton's 1989 Batman movie, because this one was by far the best ever Batman movie. In fact, it's my favorite movie of all time. Look at the suit. The mask has that angry, intimidating face. It has a sort of angry face etched onto it. And Michael Keaton's suit had the long bat ears. Okay, that looked scary. That looked intimidating. And even with, for example, Christian Bale Batman or Ben Affleck Batman, even though the bat ears were small, were shorter, there was still an angry face etched onto it. Like, he still added a bit of fear and intimidation into it. But in this mask, this suit, Robert Pattinson's suit, there was none. It just looked bland. It just looked like this. Depressed. The whole film just felt depressed, and it looked absolutely shit. The suit was horrible. I didn't like the suit either. So, again, didn't like the suit either. And as for Catwoman, I thought Zoe Kravitz was absolute shit in this film. The whole point of Catwoman is that she's supposed to be sexy, seductive, and she has to be able to sort of test Batman to the point where he almost makes him go off the rails or something, you know? But this Zoe Kravitz was ugly, just ugly. Everything you expect from a Catwoman just taken out of her. She was just pure ugly. All the sexy things you expect in a Catwoman just gone. All right. I mean, Zoe Kravitz. Now, I've dated girls from Africa with much darker skin, much better looking girls, and they were a lot more fit and more feminine than Zoe Kravitz. And I bet my African exes would have been a much better Catwoman than this Zoe Kravitz. But the choices of Zoe Kravitz and Robert Pattinson was obvious, just nepotism. You know, if you look a certain way, or if you if you have certain connections, you'll be given roles like this. And once again, didn't like the character. And what was with her being the daughter of a gangster, I didn't like that one. That didn't gel with me either. And I can see where they were going. They made a reference to Frank Miller's Batman Year One, where she was a prostitute, but the way they tied it in with the Penguin, the Falcones, and the Maroni gang, I'm not sure what the hell was going on. There was a weird subplot going on. That didn't make any sense. So, nope, that didn't work with me either. The Penguin looked just like a regular, just Italian gangster. There was nothing distinctive about him. They just say, hey, let's get Colin Farrell in there and make him fat and put some scars on his face. Where was the Penguin's iconic hooked nose? Where's the top hat? Where were the umbrellas? I was hoping to see something like that, but nope, he just looked like a regular Italian gangster. Take it easy, sweater. He could have been more Italian in that aspect, but I guess, but still, he wasn't intimidating either. He just wasn't a good Penguin. No one will beat Danny DeVito's Penguin the same way no one will beat Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. So that was crap too. What I hated most about this was the story. Overall, in short, the Riddler was this hired killer, assassin, what have you, to conduct this massive, elaborate terrorist attack. This terrorist attack was somehow something that Batman was unable to prevent. Despite all the clues, despite all the things that was going on, the whole point of a superhero movie is when Batman, the superhero, saves the day. And none of this happened. Instead, oh look, this horrible thing happens and Batman, in a sense, but overall Batman lost. The Batman lost. I didn't like that. And this goes to show that this whole film was just depressing from start to finish. Like, what was the whole point of that? Well, even if you did lead to the ending like that, this whole thing, instead of being 3 hours long, it could have been like a 2-hour-long thriller. Maybe I could live with that, but nope. All of this was long meander from place to place, and then boom, that's it. Batman lost, the Riddler won, he got caught and stuff, but that's it. There was nothing Batman could have done to prevent it. That made me very sad. I didn't like it. During the film, I noticed that people in the cinema, they were sitting there going, what was the point of that? When you watch a superhero movie, you want to feel inspired. You want to feel uplifted. When you come out of the cinema, you want to feel like, yeah, the superhero won. Yeah, if Batman can do this, I can do this too. You want that real sense of boost, morale boost, enthusiasm. And when people come out of the cinema, they talk about it. What an awesome film. I like this, I like this, I like this. But when I came out of the cinema after watching the film, there was none of that. It was quiet. Everyone had that look on their face where, you know that look people have where after they finish work, they're on public transport and they have that sort of look that says, I finally get to go home look. I finally get to go home look. Yeah, yep, I've seen this film. I finally got something to talk about with my friends and family now, and yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, it was alright. That was depressing, and that for me was sad. And it just didn't do well for me. One of the things I didn't get about this film was Batman would not be careless. Like, why would he go up to a guy with a bomb around his neck and somehow just not dismantle it or not like disarm the thing? That's what Batman would have done, okay? He goes in, he's an expert in these things, okay? He knows how to build them, he knows how to destroy them and dismantle them and stuff, okay? And he would have prevented that man from dying. And even if he did fail, he would get out of that situation where he wouldn't be in a situation where he would be captured by the police, because in that situation, they could have just taken off his mask and find out who he is. And that's another thing that bothered me about this film. How did this Edward Nashton, it was supposed to be Edward Nygma, but okay, Edward Nashton the Riddler, how did he know who Thomas Wayne or Bruce Wayne was? How did he know that Batman was Bruce Wayne? That didn't make sense to me either. I didn't like that. And there was some weird stuff, like when Batman jumped from that tower, he didn't open up his bat wings. Instead, we got this really weird gliding thing, and he opened the parachute at the wrong moment, and then he just somehow lands on top of a car, rolls on the road where there just happens to be no cars there. Wow, very lucky. That was very dumb and careless. I thought, no. Batman would never have done that. He would have taken extra care not to do something like that. At least in Batman Begins, he did show a little bit of clumsiness when he jumped from a ledge and then just grabbed onto some ladder or something. Yeah, he did almost injure himself, but then he didn't get him to the point where he just could have get himself killed. When Robert Pattinson's Batman did that jump, he could have got himself killed doing that. But never mind. Oh well, it is what it is. Take it or leave it. The one thing I hated about this film of all is Thomas Wayne working with the Mafia. No way. Thomas Wayne was the ideal American businessman. Hardworking, committed to working for his society, making it better. He was a doctor. He genuinely cared about people, and so did his wife Martha Wayne. The Waynes were a loving family. Everything about American ideals, freedom, hard work, and meritocracy, they represented those American ideals, and they would never work with the Mafia. They would never do corrupt things, and that's one of the things that made Bruce Wayne. And there is no way Thomas Wayne would work with the Mafia to overthrow a particular politician or do these corrupt things and cover-ups and putting money here and there with the, he would never work with the Maronis. He would never work with the Falcones, let alone Penguin. So again, nope, I was not happy with that particular arrangement. Okay, to end on a positive note, okay, it's only fair to ask, okay, Mustafa, what would you have done? What would you do with the story? Who would you have cast? Well, I think that's a very good question. Starting with the cast, well, I think the right person to be Batman would be Jim Caviezel. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but he's basically the guy who played Jesus in Passion of the Christ or the Count of Monte Cristo. He would have been a brilliant Batman. He's got the face, he's got the looks, and he's got that sort of vibe coming out of him. Now, I came to that conclusion when I was watching the Count of Monte Cristo, when he just had that gold, and then he was just thinking. Like, he was asked, "What would you buy?" He goes, "Revenge." He goes, and then the other guy says, "Oh, okay, well, I'll go kill them." He goes, "No, death is too good for them. We'll study them." That gave me a very cool Batman vibe. So again, I think if you just cover the top of his face or something, just give him a mask, he would look good in a Batman suit, and he would be great as Bruce Wayne as well. Put him in a suit, he will look great as a billionaire. Okay, that's what Bruce Wayne is. He's a billionaire. He's a strong, confident guy. He attracts women. He's a very popular guy. Women desire him. Guys like him. Guys want to be like him. And then at night, he's Batman. When he gets built up, he would be a great Batman. So I think Jim Caviezel, I think that's how you pronounce his name, but that's him. He would be a great Batman. Now, for me, Commissioner Gordon was not the right man for the job. He just didn't look right. Because let's talk about American ideals, like liberty, freedom, democracy, equality. Those are American values. But having an African-American Commissioner Gordon there didn't fit well. Why? Because Gotham City turns these ideas upside down, and it goes to show that the immense wealth inequality, billionaires and millions of poor people are everywhere. It's racist. It's hence Martin Luther King said people should be judged on their character, not on the color of their skin. Well, that's what Gotham City does. It's the opposite. It's a horrible place. There is no meritocracy, there is no prosperity as much as an American ideal. Instead, there is corruption and nepotism and horrible stuff like favoritism. All these things, and we've got gangsters everywhere, and the corporations working together, breaking the law and stuff, trying to change the politicians and stuff. So I think the Commissioner Gordon in the Batman was not the right man for the role. I think for me, the best Commissioner Gordon would have been Tim Roth. Yep, bear with me. He's got the hair, he's got the face. Give him a moustache, give him glasses, build him up a little bit. He would be a brilliant Commissioner Gordon in my view. So he's the right man for the job. Now, who would be a good Penguin, you might think? You sure you want to know? Well, I think it would be Clive Owen. Now, why? Well, he does have a bit of a dodgy face, doesn't he? Now, give him a bit of an Italian tan and give him a hooked nose, like that proper penguin nose. Give him a bald patch, make him fat. A bald patch here, and then give him long hair, make him fat. Give him you don't have to give him a top hat, but give him an umbrella, or just make him look more Italian. And there, look, there we have a great Penguin. I think he would have been great. The next thing I didn't like was Andy Serkis. He was not the right guy for Alfred Pennyworth. He didn't look the role. Look, ever since Lord of the Rings, every time I take one look at him, I think, oh god, like it's Smeagol and Gollum. Like I'm just waiting for him to say, precious, precious. He just doesn't look right for the role, and he just didn't sound good either. So for Alfred Pennyworth, I think Jason Isaacs from The Patriot would be a great man for the role. For example, he's got the look, and I also think that at the time that film was made, I think he would have been a great James Bond as well. He's got the accent, he's got the look, he's got that look of danger on him. And also, if you expect a guy to train Bruce Wayne in, I don't know, military stuff and martial arts and things, to raise him at all, you expect a man like him to look tough. So Jason Isaacs would have been the right man for the role. He's got the accent, the ideal British accent. For example, like, would you like a lesson, sir, on the rules of war? That works great. So I think he should have been given that role. Now, to improve the story, I'll get back to this in a minute, but one character that should have been in it was Roland Daggett. Yeah, Daggett he's an evil guy. He's like another evil corporation, CEO who owns Daggett Industries, and he would have been an ideal rival candidate against the African-American woman also trying to be a mayor. So I'll get to the story bit in a minute, but the guy to play Roland Daggett would have been Chris Cooper from American Beauty. He would have been great for that role. He looks sneaky, he looks corrupt, and he looks absolutely sinister. He would have been a great Roland Daggett. And I'll get back to the story about what I would have done in a moment. Last but not least, who do I think would have been a great Catwoman? Emily Blunt. Why? I saw her in a Henry VIII TV show years ago. I saw her in Death on the Nile with Hercule Poirot, with David Suchet. I saw her and she looks great. She would have been perfect for that role. She looks good as a blonde and she looks great as a brunette. And instead of making her some low-life prostitute who works for Penguin, make her into a socialite who hangs out with millionaires and billionaires. She would be a great thief, First and foremost, she's a thief. And what better thief than her to be a Catwoman, Selena Kyle? Emily Blunt could disguise herself as a blonde and a brunette, and she would date these millionaires and billionaires, members of the mafia, what have you, and she could extract information from them. And she has the ability to break into people's houses and mansions and things and steal their gold and jewelry and money and stuff. She's a master thief, so I think she would have been great for that role. And I think she looks very seductive. She's got the sexiness in that too. So get her in there. She would have been great for that role. What I think the story should have been was, here we have an African-American lady becoming a candidate for a mayor, but once again, Gotham City is racist. They would never allow anything like that to happen, even in a post-Obama world. They don't like this. And during that time, Batman keeps foiling the plans of the gangsters and the mafias, the Maronis, the Falcones, the Penguin, and what have you. So this time, in this movie, they all decide to work together, and they all decide to work with the billionaire Roland Daggett of Daggett Industries. And they decide to put him as a candidate to become the mayor, to take down the African-American, I don't know the name of that lady, I've forgotten her name, to take her out. Bruce Wayne decides to fund her. When they learn about this, they decide the evil the Ramones, the Maronis, the Falcones. Penguin decide to get Daggett involved into the mayoral elections. So that would be a great story. That's the election. The time is ticking, and on top of that, they hire the Riddler as a hitman to kill off all the other helpers. They try to kill Bruce Wayne. At the same time, they hire Catwoman to extract all the information from different millionaires and billionaires. Look, if you don't work for me, I'll do this to you. If you don't do that, I'll do that. Like, to threaten them into getting them to work together, to force them. And ultimately, all of this was an assassination attempt, not only against the African-American mayor woman, but also as an assassination against Bruce Wayne. And once again, Batman foils all of this. He stops it from happening. He prevents the assassination attempts. He uncovers who the Riddler is. He exposes Catwoman. He exposes all of them. And he throws them all. He also throws some of the biggest names in jail as well in the process. That would have been great. And as a finale, that would have been great if the African-American lady who she gets voted in as mayor, and then she stands with Commissioner Gordon by the bat signal in the end. She calls Batman and she says, "Thank you, Batman." And then Batman would say something like, "Glad I can help out, Miss Mayor. Miss Mayor." You know, that would be great. And also, with a bat signal in the sky, Batman could just fly and swoop down and glide and just do a whoosh through the screen. That's kind of similar to Batman Begins. Or maybe some kind of finale like the Batman 1989 finale. That's how you end a Batman movie. And finally, you know, another kick against this film, there was no inspiring intro. The 1989 Batman movie had Danny Elfman's music, the iconic soundtrack. It was beautiful as it showed the Batman symbol at the end of the intro. It had great music. And at the end of that film, it showed the finale. It showed the camera going up the movies, and then up the skyscrapers, sorry. And then it goes and it shows Batman looking at the Batman bat signal. That was a beautiful way to end the film. At least in Batman Begins, it just showed bats forming a bat shape, and the way that film ended was Batman just swooping down. That was great. That was a good way to end a film. But in this film, there was none of that. It was just show title, right, cut to Gotham City. And in this film, it's just Robert Pattinson, Batman, on a motorbike, riding along with Catwoman, looking depressed. That was awful. And the music was terrible too. The music was supposed to be uplifting, and this one was terrible. I don't know who made the music. I'm not going to even bother looking up the guy's name. You can't compare this with the likes of Hans Zimmer or Danny Elfman. They made much better, much more iconic music than this guy, and there was no need to use Something in the Way by Nirvana. And hell, I'm a grunge fan, I'm a Nirvana fan, and even I wouldn't use it in a Batman movie, but what's done is done. And again, this is another reason why I hated this film so much. So everyone, there you have it. That was my take on why I didn't like the Batman movie. Again, I thought it was shit, and again, if you like the film, more power to you. I'm not hating on you, I'm not bashing on you. This is a completely different kind of video I would make. I mean, I'm sitting down, I'm wearing a Batman t-shirt for this video, and what I'm doing is, I want to create this sort of environment where you're sitting in the living room with me and just we're having a little casual chat together. So I don't want to make this too formal. I just want to be open and honest with you and tell you my thoughts. So this is very unusual sort of thing I would make for my for this channel account, whatever you want to call it. But I just thought I'd do something a little different and sort of share my thoughts with you, and I'd like to know your thoughts too. And to conclude, I would like to make a little book recommendation. If you're into comics, if you're into Batman at all, and if you want to learn more about him and all the other characters in it, I recommend the Essential Batman Encyclopedia. Great book. It's got immense detail about each and every character. All the pictures in here is filled with lots of information. lots of them, and it's a good book. So I think it's an essential for any passionate comic fan. It's great. So I recommend this. I'll put the link to it down below. I hope I don't forget to do that. Now, I'm a writer and I'm also an artist, and I also make my own comic books. So I know what I'm talking about when I talk about films and things and visuals. So take my word for it. If you don't believe me, there are links to my books on Amazon down below. I also provide a link to the digital copy of my upcoming Japanese graphic novel. One scene is available the digital comic is free. That can be yours, and you can see my artwork. You can check it out on my website, and you can see some of my writing. I write short stories, and I'm hoping to make longer stories in the future. So if you like this video, thank you very much for watching. Take good care of yourselves.